joined in studio by our resident doctor, Dr. Layla, and today we're talking about heavy and tired legs. Hello.
Hi.
Now we often hear women complaining about heavy, tired legs, and I don't want to make this only about women. Men also complain about that, especially if you're standing for long periods of time.
Yeah.
What could be one of the leading contributors to these sore, heavy, tired legs?
Yeah, so one of the big things is just tiredness. So walking around all day and on your feet all day, you can be exhausted and have sore legs, and that doesn't really mean much. But if it's chronic and it's happening all the time, then one of the big causes is called CVI, which is also chronic venous insufficiency, and as most people will know, it is varicose veins.
All right, so what does that mean?
Wow. The veins in our legs have a very important function. They need to get blood up from the legs against gravity and back into the heart, which is difficult.
Yeah.
So when those veins are not working correctly, blood begins to pool in the lower extremities, and we get a heaviness or a swelling or a bloating in the legs.
Now, if we're experiencing this, could just rest and relaxation solve the problem, or do we need to see a doctor right away?
Certainly, it could, if it's very early, absolutely. Rest and relaxation, as hard as that sounds for most people, what it means really is if you do have a job where you're standing a lot, make sure that you take time to sit down. And if it's possible to turn that role into a place where you can actually sit down, it'll be great. And then remembering that the calf muscle in the leg is very important in aiding the function of pumping the blood back up again. So even if you can just flex your legs every now and again, that does help as well.
Now, at what point should we see a doctor?
I think when a patient has got really bad varicose veins, so when it becomes an aesthetic problem, it can be treated. So that's a good point. And then, of course, when it's affecting their lifestyle to the point that they need to be taking pain medication, that's a good point as well. And then an absolute no questions asked point is if they start to develop ulcers in their feet or in their legs, that can cause serious problems, and it is very important to see a doctor at that point.
Now, what's the treatment plan once you see a doctor?
Well, again, we'll decide which level you're at. If it's very early, there are fantastic therapies like lymph drainage massage, acupuncture works like a bomb, herbal medicines, so many Ayurvedic and Chinese medicines that really help get the blood flowing again. If it is later, we need to consider whether the patient needs things like stockings, so something to compress the legs all the time. And then even later, they may very well need surgery, or what our practice does is something called sclerotherapy, where we inject the veins and they just collapse. It's a fantastic sort of low risk in and out procedure.